person whose capability of thinking does not meet the expected outcomes, a man whose ignorance, or rather innocence, we may never know, for he does not think, but rather act the way he thinks. The idiot is most likely a product of failure, of nurture and nature, in which he may be in a position where the proper and adequate knowledge needed to attain is lesser in some degree. Well, irrelevant. The idea of the existence of idiots persists even during the time of the ancients and philosophers were tackling the ignorant class, in which a general population is to be considered. Here, philosophers try to make their way to wisdom in order to escape the chaos created by the public. Now, the idea of idiots is being cemented into the facet of history. Then, time comes by as they stay in their part in society, the outcast, one whose interaction around them is dampened, even ridiculed, for they are considered an inhumane beast living in a mortal shell. Today they are now more active due to the social interaction happening in the internet, bringing about unexplained information to everyone who has connection globally. And this way the reason is to be addressed is to have an awareness and sheer amount of patience with this group of people who is taken as a poor perspective of things. Weaker analysis of the events, and most important that they have a different idea, perspective to anything that concerns concrete evidence and information. To understand them, more we should step ourselves into their own shoes and see why they do so. First, we see simplicity upon everything, or have become utterly seeing things exaggerated. Second, they only value things which is most likely a ritual that they do since the realization. Last and the most important is their judgment. This regards the factors which are essential and always comes to conclusions. Most of the time they think they're correct. They reason in simplicity and which explains without much thinking. From an idiotic perspective, the behavior of a single string. Therefore, they conclude only to address the immediate concerns. They see it as a way of the direct effect they are bringing, giving them a broad perspective to the world, in comparison to the given statement of the general public, also the one that he considers and evaluates their own position to his own view, with them coming up with a different conclusion. This, however, made up the idiot put himself in an awkward situation, which directly give them a reason and the defense mechanism to kick in, and have the common rage comments of uncontrolled intelligence, contrary to the pessimistic perspective where they have their own stance on their own, and may, however, change his view in a given situation different than expected. Now we have an important question. Is being an idiot a normal recurrence or a normal reaction? With this comes the question, should it be that they are to be reconsidered, or maybe simply forgive them, or it is not their own fault? For the question who should be blamed is for sure it's not them, but the effects are certain, a bleak one. Prejudice now comes onto them, even when we are very much aware of why it happens. I myself may be guilty, particularly in most cases are serious. They lack, yes, but they are human, they feel, sometimes to a point of no return. Whichever may truly set the victim of their own weakness. We have arrived at the synopsis, then, on a day in this world, it is actually as simple. The world is complicated, but the part of that work are within are simple, needed to be manned by simple thinking. The connections are shouldered to the ones who must think. For our society still needs work, hierarchy, and responsibility must be given to those who can. With this, I hope to enlighten you with what I can say and what I can see and believe. Idiots, as we may say, primitive in thinking, cognitively, essentially, but bear in mind that they have an academic prowess and sheer character. They are controlled, yes, but they are protected because of it. We may come to a point where we ask the next naivety, different from ideology, or rather ideology and naivety are part of our mental and social process. Without tolerance, we can possibly be patient enough to share what we know and give our hope for a resilient and sound society.